After an apocalyptic event of any type, there will be an initial phase of complete chaos, confusion, anarchy, and mayhem. After time, though, when the beginning phase of pandemonium has tapered down and the population has thinned itself out, you will have to make a choice: survive alone, or to form or join a group of some sort. The type of group you align yourself with will make all the difference in the world. But regardless of who you align yourself with, there will be a need for certain skills and certain abilities. This video will showcase some of the most desired and sought after skills and abilities. Possessing one or more of these skill sets will help ensure that any group or community would find you as a valuable asset and member. Or, as a group or leader of a group, you will be in need of individuals who have the abilities to perform certain tasks and duties efficiently. These skills not only make you more valuable as an individual, but make an individual more valuable to your group. There are many skills that are necessary in a survival situation. This video will not be discussing the most basic skills necessary for sole survival. We're assuming that all survivors in these groups we talk about already have the basic survival skills, or they wouldn't still be alive. We're discussing the skills that will benefit an entire group or community of people, as we are not focusing on individual survival here. The situation we'll be discussing is a situation in which society has already collapsed and groups of survivors have begun to form. These skill sets can come in useful in any situation, but particularly useful in a post-SHTF or WROL society. A post-SHTF society develops when SHTF or a collapse of some sort has occurred, and where the initial chaos, the initial panic, confusion has tapered down and groups of survivors have banded together in attempts to begin the rebuilding phase. Because whether it is a grid down scenario or a nuclear apocalypse leaving small amounts of people trying to find a desperate route to survival, or even a financial or economic collapse that brings society to its knees with devastating results, any of these scenarios will begin with an onslaught of initial chaotic events. People will try to simply survive at first, as there will be riots, fires, raging out of control, with no one left to fight them. Criminals and general evildoers will wreak havoc and turmoil on the ones who aren't prepared or trained to defend themselves. We're looking at the situation in this video as to where the beginning phase of destruction is over. People have already bugged out, some have hunkered down, and some have formed groups. We're not talking about initial survival, but long-term survival after the world has come to the new realization that this is the new way of life, and reality has changed forever. We will look at the skills that every group should have and should look for. If you're forming a group of trusted individuals, make sure it is a well-rounded group and everyone has the skills necessary to contribute to building or rebuilding some sort of civilized community. We will be looking at the top 5 skills that make you extremely useful, valuable, and indispensable to a group that's trying to survive and restore some resemblance of community and humanity again. Like any skill or trait one would like to learn, it takes time, training, and preparation to hone and perfect these skills. Any skill set is this way. Although, of course, there are some things that you will find that you just tend to flow as an individual and develop naturally for you. And those are the skills that you should definitely advance and practice until the skill becomes absolutely natural and seamless, with only quick actions and reactions in particular situations, instead of a dangerous delay or second guessing that can result from not having trained until your skill set is natural and essentially instinct. There are some skills, in my opinion, that everyone should have and develop until they can comfortably accomplish most tasks associated with those skills. These would be your basic survival skills: purifying water, building fire, setting small snares and traps, building shelter, land navigation, and so on. These are your basic survival skills that will help you anywhere. In this video, we will be focusing on the skills that will be helpful and even necessary for group survival. And this is with the idea in mind that the group is attempting to establish a community. These skills will not only make you personally a better survivor and improve your chances of success, These are also the skills you should look for in other people to help improve your group and make your new community much more well-rounded. I've put these lists in no particular order, but I have started them counting from 5 to number 1. Please keep in mind that this is not a complete list. There are many, many more skills that will be valuable and even necessary for survival. I'm focusing on the ones that would be extremely important to a group or settlement that has established a base of operations or territory, if you will. Number 5. Carpentry, repair, mechanical, engineering. This category is very important for several reasons. Depending on which type of scenario you are facing, the need for building structures and repairing them properly is a useful skill. This category covers skills from basic carpentry to high-level engineering, because most people or groups plan on surviving for the long term. And for long-term survival, shelter, barricades, and safe structures are necessary. Also, mechanics. Mechanics will be necessary to help repair the older vehicles that we can get to running again. Also, from the engineering aspect, with the collapse of society, there will be many buildings and structures that can be scavenged for useful materials to aid in fortifying your main location and for helping to build perimeter defenses. Just simply stacking logs up to form a fence might keep out grazing cattle, but definitely won't stop a group up to no good. Remember, everything you have, everything you build, someone or a bunch of someones will, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, at some point in time, attempt to take these things from you. So building and designing skills will help when it comes to defense, building solar-powered aqueducts, and structures for living and everyday activities. Carpentry and engineering and mechanical design or mechanical repair, these are skills that will improve the quality and longevity of any group, and they should be sought after. And these are also skills that if you have a great deal to offer to any group that you may run across. Number 4. This category is food gathering, hunting, fishing, agriculture, growing food, storing food, everything to do with food. And this is a no-brainer. Without food or water, there is no group or even individual survival. So these skills will help survive in almost any scenario. A group will have to have the ability to grow and gather its own food. Barter may or may not be an option depending on your situation. But having people with the necessary skills to produce, properly store, properly prepare food will be a very precious commodity in its own. Growing food isn't as easy as it sounds, and instead of having to learn this skill set when your life depends on it, it's much better to have people who are already knowledgeable on these subjects. Hunting and fishing can help provide and round out a balanced diet. Number 3, medical, first aid, health. I think this goes without saying. Whether it's WROL, EROL, SHTF, nuclear apocalypse, no matter what, diseases are not going to go away, and wounds will not treat themselves. Having a highly or even moderately skilled medical person or personnel is an absolute necessity for any long-term group survival. We all know that the simplest or the smallest of scratches can get an infection and within days can lead to our death without proper treatment. Having proper medical personnel in place is a very important aspect of preparation on any level. Number 2, ammunition reloading, gunsmithing, and weapons making. Most preppers, survivalists, gun enthusiasts have large supplies of ammo already, but there will come a day when these supplies dwindle and run out. The last thing a group wants or needs is to resort to be forced to defend themselves with archaic handheld weapons. Although you should never underestimate anyone, even if they are simply using a knife, There should be no argument that the availability of ammo is going to be a deciding factor in many situations. Having the skills to reload ammunition and repair firearms is irreplaceable. The process is actually simple, and the process of reloading ammo can be done manually without much equipment and without electricity. A skilled reloader and gunsmith will make a valuable addition to any group dedicated to rebuilding and long-term survival. Combat. Without any form of combat training, you're sitting duck and basically advertising your position and inviting the enemy to take what you've got, kill your men, rape and pillage your women, and enslave your children. There isn't much need for any of the above skills if you cannot defend what you are building. Combat will be a necessary and probably one of the most important aspects of survival. People will change when SHTF, and they probably aren't going to change for the better. People will try to take what you have. Don't think that just because you have a few lookouts posted and a wall built that you are safe. Essentially, you have made yourself a target. Combat training is required for survival. If you have a group of any size, you will have to dedicate several people to guard, recon, and combat duty. This will have to be their primary function. And combat, if I have to put a number one on the list for any group for survival, you have to have a team and people that are well trained in all aspects of combat. Without that team, without that type of preparation, everything else you've done, you're basically doing for someone else, because at some point in time, they're going to take it from you. So let's recap the list. Number 5, carpenters, engineers, mechanics, people that have the ability to rebuild, to construct, to even develop solar energy, things such as that. Number 4, hunters, fishers, farmers, food preppers, storage personnel. We have to have people that know how to grow food, and not just grow it, but store it and properly prepare it. Number 3, medical. It's your doctors, nurses, paramedics, anyone with first aid training. Because believe me, even a person with the limited first aid training is going to get a lot of experience in the field in a post-apocalyptic society. Number 2, ammunition reloaders, firearm repair, gunsmiths, weapon makers. This is a very, very vital aspect of your group, because if you can produce ammunition, in which gunpowder is easy to make from easily obtainable elements that are in the United States, very easy to find, if you can make your own ammunition, then you are definitely at an advantage there. Number 1, and in my opinion, probably the most important, combat. These are where you want your veterans, your really good hunters, because a hunter basically is a sniper, and your general overall badasses. These are the people that are going to be the first point of contact with the enemy. These are the people that are going to be the last line of defense. Without good combat trained personnel, then your settlement, your community, whatever you developed, you have essentially developed for someone else, because they will take it. I hope this list helps, and it was just a recap of 5, in my opinion, 5 of the top skills that you want from your personnel in your group. And if you have a group that has all 5 of these skills with multiple personnel in each skill, then I think you're gonna have a very good chance at survival. Now remember, this is not an all-inclusive list. There are many, many more skills, almost an infinite number of skills out there that people can have, and all of these skills are going to contribute in some way. So I know I've left some things off, and there's plenty more that could have been added in. I just looked at some of the most important ones, and I think medication or medical, ammunition, combat, food, and shelter are definitely some of the most important skills to have in your group. So if you have anything to add, please leave in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take what you can, leave the rest, and have a good day. Serious Survivor out.